Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to our study along of the World Order of Baha'u'llah, Selected Letters. This is a weekly study along. Linked below, you'll find this document, a study guide, the playlist for all of the weekly videos leading up to today. It's basically like a YouTube audiobook series, but we participate a little bit and I share my thoughts and just try to make it, like we're sitting around studying together. The more you drop in the comments and the more people you get to subscribe to this channel to be involved, the more it'll be like a real interactive experience. And you also find the launch video for this project to give an overview of what this is and why I'm reading it and who I am and all that stuff. So all of that's linked below. We are in the midst of America and the Most Great Peace, a letter written to the Baha'i community of America and Canada, I believe, in 1933, and we are jumping in to paragraph 35. Last week, we went through 34, which was all about how the early American Baha'i community was able to resist infiltration, division by people who sought to undermine certain covenants and principles of the faith. And now we're jumping into the next paragraph. From the midst of these afflictive trials, reminiscent in some of their aspects of the violent storm that had accompanied the birth of the faith in their native land, the American believers had again triumphantly emerged, their course undeflected, their fame unsullied, their heritage unimpaired. A series of magnificent accomplishments, each more significant than the previous, were to shed increasingly luster on an already illustrious record. In the dark years immediately following Abdu'l-Baha's ascension, are we okay with this weird light? Their deeds shone with a radiance that made them the object of the envy and the admiration of the less privileged among their brethren. That's interesting. In the dark years immediately following Abdu'l-Baha's passing, their deeds shone with a radiance that made them the object of the envy and the admiration of the less privileged among their brethren. I guess those who had not remained faithful to the covenant. That's how I understand that. Let me know what you think. The entire community, untrammeled and supremely confident, was rising to a great and glorious opportunity. The forces that had motivated its birth, that had assisted in its rise, were now accelerating its growth in a manner and with such rapidity that neither the pangs of a worldwide sorrow, World War I, nor the unceasing convulsions of a distracted age could paralyze its efforts or retard its march. I think that's something that we can also take for present day, that like to let nothing hinder our momentum, convulsions in the world or within a community, nothing can paralyze its efforts or retard its march. Paragraph 36, internally the community had embarked in a number of enterprises which were to enable it, on the one hand, to extend further the scope of its spiritual jurisdiction, and on the other, to fashion the essential instruments for the creation and consolidation of the institutions which such an extension imperatively demanded. Sorry, this is getting weird with my lighting. I'll just lean over here, you guys. Does that help a little bit? Okay. Externally, its undertakings were inspired by the twofold objective of prosecuting even more intensely than before the admirable work which in each of the 5 continents its international teachers had initiated. Okay, so carrying forward the international teaching work. And of assuming an increasing share in the handling and solution of the delicate and complex problems with which a newly emancipated faith was being confronted. So, on the one hand, this effort for international teaching and like to continue that, and on the other, to handle the increasingly complex and delicate problems of their own community, of a new faith in a new land. Oh man, that's quite a twofold. That is quite a twofold objective. The birth of the administration in that continent had signalized these praiseworthy exertions. Its gradual consolidation was destined to ensure their continuance and to accentuate their effectiveness. Its gradual consolidation was destined to ensure their continuance and accentuate their effectiveness. Paragraph 37, to enumerate only the most outstanding accomplishments which, in their own community and beyond its confines, have so greatly enhanced the prestige of the American believers and have redounded to the glory and honor of the most great name, is all I can presently undertake, leaving to further generations the task of explaining their import, and of affixing a fitting estimate to their value. This is a real recurring theme with Shoghi Effendi. He's always reminding that he is limited in being able to articulate the import and profundity of what's happening at the present, and that we are most certainly unable to see. We don't have 2020 vision, right? If we're in it, it's going to be for future generations to more fully understand the profundity, the gravity, the significance of what happened then, what is happening now. And I think that's a really important thing to keep perspective. We're in the middle of the story, To the body of their elected representatives must be attributed the honor of having been the first among their sister assemblies of East and West to devise, promulgate, and legalize the essential instruments for the effective discharge of their collective duties, instruments which every properly constituted Baha'i community must regard as a pattern worthy to be adopted and copied. To their efforts must likewise be ascribed the historic achievement of establishing their national endowments upon a permanent and unassailable basis, and of creating the necessary agency for the formation of those subsidiary organs whose function is to administer on behalf of their trustees such possessions as these may acquire beyond the limits of their immediate jurisdiction. By the weight of their moral support so freely extended to their Egyptian brethren, they were able to remove some of the most formidable obstacles which the faith had to surmount in its struggle to enfranchise itself from the fetters of Muslim orthodoxy. Through the effective and timely intervention of these same elected representatives, they were able to avert the woes and dangers which had menaced their persecuted fellow workers in the Soviet republics. So this is cool. So we're going through a list of all the ways that the American believers contributed. At the same time they were building their own administration, they helped the situation in Egypt and helped the believers be enfranchised from Muslim orthodoxy. And then now we're talking about the Soviet republics. They were able to avert woes and dangers which had menaced their persecuted fellow workers in the Soviet republics, and to ward off the rage which had threatened with immediate ruin one of the most precious and noblest Baha'i institutions. I don't know what we're talking about there. Ward off the rage which had threatened with immediate ruin one of the most precious and noblest Baha'i institutions. Tell me, you guys, you history buffs. Nothing short of the wholehearted assistance, whether moral or financial, which the American believers, individually and collectively, were moved to extend on several occasions to the needy and harassed among their brethren in Persia, could have saved these hapless victims of the consequences of the calamities that had visited them in the years following Abdu'l-Baha's ascension. I'm going to stop there, you guys, because this is a really long paragraph. They helped in Egypt, the Soviet republics, and in Persia, the American believers, as they're still handling the complex issues of building their own community. So admirable and amazing, the American believers that we are descended from, you know? All right, my friends, so I'm going to stop there. We're in the middle of paragraph 37. In my copy, it's page 92, America and the Most Great Peace. Just try to keep these study-alongs in bite-sized pieces so you can like re-listen or think about throughout the week. Remember to like this video if you did, let other people know about this channel, and subscribe. If we get to 1,000, we can make this live and interactive, 1,000 subscribers. If you would like to support this channel, you will find links below of different ways you can support my work and get in touch with me and collaborate with me. I would love that. And the most important thing, my friends, until next time, I wish you the best for playing your unique part in making this world right now a better place. Catch you next time.